party. Like, well, I'm gonna learn. My girlfriend bought from an estate sale the other day a big spooky trunk that would fit a human.
I saw that.
It's outside and I'm not excited to bring it in.
So what you're saying is
we also bought some lye and some shovels. And
this
true.
face you're making, Jordan, is exactly what Kylie makes when I bring home things from estate sales. And I understand now that she might be scared at the cursed objects I'm bringing home.
Well, here's the thing. The Dybbuk box came from
An estate sale.
And
we know how that movie went.
Yeah, or that real life event that is ongoing, asterisk. We'll see what happens with that one.
Yeah, I mean, Post Malone, last we heard, and we're talking about a real event, there's a Dybbuk box. It cursed a family real bad. Zach Baggins ended up buying it. It's in his museum. During a showing of the Baggins mansion with Post Malone.
Estate, the Baggins fortune.
Yeah, Post Malone was electrocuted when Zach Baggins touched him in that room. And from that point on, and we've done a news story on it, Post Malone might be cursed by the Dybbuk box.
Although, have you heard that new Post Malone? I think he's doing okay.
You think he drew power from the Dybbuk?
Maybe he is a Dybbuk.
Nah, I think he just founded it
Post
off,
Malone
with
is
positivity
in that
and good
box.
vibes, creativity.
Post Malone, more like post mortem.
Hey, guys, can we get back to my Dybbuk box, please?
Yeah. Anyway, Jordan's got a Dybbuk box now.
No, I don't. But when I did pick it up, when I went to lift it, it was I definitely I was like, oh, this corner's all dusty. Hang on, let me get my grip. And I looked at the corner, covered in spiders' eggs.
Oh!
It was covered in spiders' eggs.
Why?
And you bought it anyway.
It's very frightening. We wiped them off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl.
I am Nate Balding.
Roger.
Oh, I'm Roger Norquist. Sorry, I was doing a note
today. The very hilarious Byron Graham is here. Byron, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be back.
To the you know what, I won't even reveal your location, but thank you for securing a portion of your day to discuss the dangerous truths that we talk about here on Werewolf Radar, because you know this will put eyes on you.
Dark eyes too, evil eyes. They shut down our internet multiple times. They've messed with all of our bank accounts. You're in the rabbit hole now, buddy.
It's true, but we'll protect you, you know.
Thank you.
Of course. Today's episode of Werewolf Radar, of course, is brought to you by Monstroco brand Nothingness. Has alcohol, meaningless sex, and drugs ceased to fill the void within you? Well, neither will this. Monstroco brand pure, unadulterated nothingness from Monstroco.
Now in ghost flavor.
Monstroco. What the fuck?
What is human to where the void cannot be filled?
Well, about every 2 weeks, Roger asks, what is human? And,
I do. I'm still learning.
Have a good answer.
My therapist think I might be autistic. It's an ongoing test.
Yeah.
It's why he has all of his mirrors covered up.
That's a different reason. That is because if you I got a lot of mirrors, okay, and if they face each other, that is exactly how you summon the dead.
Yeah, what if he summons negative Roger?
Anti-Roger. If we made love, we'd blow up the world.
And they'd almost certainly make love.
We'd always make love. I think I'm very attractive.
It's the only reason to get yourself with yourself.
Do you remember, there was a show called, what the heck was that thing?
The Pretender.
Amazing Stories?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was
a Spielberg thing?
Yeah, maybe it was a creep show. But there was one where a guy kept seeing like a monster in mirrors and in reflections.
Yeah. That's the other reason I don't like too many mirrors.
And then in the end, it got him.
I think,
Spoiler.
and this is maybe the only thing I truly believe in, but I think mirrors are a portal to the other side, the other world, and that's why I don't like to look at them truly, because I fear there's a monster or ghost behind me.
There is a part of me.
I'm gonna learn that the person I'm talking to is a vampire on the other side of it.
There's a part of me that doesn't want to look in a mirror for too long, you know?
Because you're gonna move and the thing's not gonna move the way you move, and then doppelganger. That's the other fear too.
I don't know.
But when you look away, you know that behind your back, it's moving of its own accord.
Same reason you feel unnerved, like looking at a mirror in the dark sometimes. It's just strange. It is a perfect facsimile of the world. It looks, you know, like a completely different world in there, but it's exactly the same. So what sinister thing is it hiding just off screen?
Here's the thing I want to ask all of us.
Instead of a mirror in my bathroom, I have a mannequin that I recarve every day to look like what I want to be.
You put the same clothes that you're wearing on it.
Yeah, I have doubles of everything.
Yeah.
It's a Noah's Ark wardrobe.
Yeah.
Here's something I want to ask all of us about mirrors. Bathroom, lights off, into the mirror. Have you done Bloody Mary?
No.
100 times.
That's the thing.
I've done it, and I'm scared every time. I do it at work sometimes when I'm bored. Go into the bathroom, lights off, kill 3 minutes.
What have you ever seen anything?
No. As a child, I thought the room turned a little bit red, and I ran out scared. I'll ask this on the Twitter poll too for this week. We used to do it in. How many of us have done the Bloody Mary? Go on.
You should have.
That was the thing that we would do in elementary school when I was a kid. Like it was a common
so you're like
event.
An expert. There's no Bloody Mary. Or is there?
Yeah,
when
I said hundreds of times or whatever, thousands of times, that's not. We would do it every single day, multiple times.
Dang, you guys were trying to get high off of that shit. Let's go get another hit.
One of my friends would be like, "Good," so I feel like that sabotages it because she's like, "I'm not gonna come out for these assholes."
I guess I was in. I've been in a bathroom when people have done it before, and everybody kind of like screamed for sure.
I was one of those people. I screamed. I'm sorry, or maybe it was an experience we had, but I'm a screamer, man. I get scared. My eyes start to see shit, and I'm like, I'm out of there. Yeah,
that's the thing is my eyes play tricks on me in the dark. Anyway, regardless, what are we talking about today?
It's Werewolf Radar, people.
And guests.
Jordan, do you want to go first? Nate, me? I think we all got a segment for Byron to enjoy. We're here with Byron F. Graham, you know.
I do have a segment that I want to discuss, but I kind of wanted to do a little research and see if I could find any true Bloody Mary accounts for a segment. So if anybody else is really...
well, I can just dip into the Taoist corpse magic again.
Now, last week, and this is my fault.
Last week we didn't actually do Taoist corpse magic. Yeah, we were just talking about the fervent love of touching corpses.
And you meant Taoist court magic, and I put Taoist court magic, which is two completely different things.
Right, but it's also been transliterated between T and D, which is fine. It comes from a series of lines and slashes.
That's fair. Lines and slashes, our language.
But this is from Heteronomicon Luciferum.
Whoa.
Opens up with a disclaimer. This form of magic has not been practiced for, as far as I can tell, at least 100 years. The more esoteric use and abuse of this art is around 2,000 years old. If any of this could or has worked is purely speculation, and I take no responsibility or any trouble if you find yourself in trying to work magic from old Taoist lore. Placing a spirit entity inside a corpse was known in Taoism as corpse magic. It was a popular technique used among the ancient Wu sorcerers in southwest China, especially around the Sichuan province area. It thrived as a common practice in China up until the early 1900s. Corpse magic actually was originally used for benevolent purposes. A story from the Sichuan province around 1600 to 1046 BCE. That seems, that's the province length, not the time the men lived. It seemed like a long time. Tells us that if any Hung Lo was traveling with a family member, an Uncle Larry, for example, on a business trip away from home, and the uncle suddenly died, it was the responsibility of Hung Lo to return the corpse back to the family burial plot. And I want to jump over to the Order of Good Death to talk about the Hopping Dead.
The Order of Good Death. The Hopping Dead. Does this have anything to do with Chinese hopping vampires?
It's the exact same thing.
Whoa!
Except
My favorite vampire.
My guy, he's back. Is that your favorite vampire?
Yeah, they hop, they count just like your typical vampire. You know, you throw seeds down, they're like, oh, let's get to counting.
1, 2, mustard seed. Byron,
but they hop.
Who's your favorite vampire?
Right now. What?
Who's your favorite vampire? No right answer. No wrong answer.
Yeah, no wrong answer, no right answer. Have fun.
I mean, Nosferatu is pretty iconic.
Pretty good. Pretty good. And Nosferatu's wearing a vampire look that says, I don't care. You know, I don't care.
Dracula's kind of he's too much of a pretty boy.
True. A little, the whole thing smacks of effort. Nosferatu climbed out of a tomb.
Too horny.
It's too horny, quite frankly.
Terrifying looking.
Yes, yeah.
In both versions.
Yeah.
The Herzog version and the Murnau version.
For sure.
So yeah, that's my favorite vampire of.
Nice, good pull, Nate.
Yeah. So this is actually, it's not the vampiric version of the Zhuang Shui, but this is what it might actually be.
That's okay.
This is the thing opens up saying Louise Hung joins the Order team to share morbid delights from all around the world, including this eerie tale of her own grandfather and the walking corpses of China. My grandfather knew the dead were coming. 13 hours before, a runner had come to his remote village in Guangzhou, China, warning of the people of their approach. Yikes. The villagers finished up their business, gathered their children, and closed up their houses. As the streets darkened and the last of the windows were shuttered, the village waited in heavy expectation for who or what would soon be there. With all the lamps turned off and the only light of the moon, piercing the dark from the cracks between the shutters, my grandfather's brothers sat in their home, eager for any sign the procession was near. They waited well into the night. The entire village remained obediently silent. And just when my grandfather thought the night might never end, that he was caught in some sort of hell of forever awaiting the dead, he heard it. A gong.
A gong?
A gong.
Oh.
That's
horrifying.
Yeah, everybody was just at once. Fucking, what the hell?
My grandfather heard the rhythmic beat of a gong closing in on his village. Before long, another sound could be heard, the shuffling of feet, dozens of feet pounding and stirring the dirt. The sound of the gong and the feet filled the village streets. Creeping out from their hiding spot, my grandfather and his brother inched over to the window and peeked out. They saw a line of corpses, lurching, hopping, swaying through the streets to the beat of the gong. They saw white clouds covering the heads of the dead, faces positioned up and forward, supposedly looking toward their final resting place. They saw Taoist priests herding the dead, keeping them in line. One brought up the rear, a couple flanked either side of the line. One was the leader of the procession, and one walked ahead, beating the gong. As the dead passed, my grandfather and his brother, while curious, made sure to never stare directly at the corpses. It was said that if the living looks too hard at the dead in such a procession, that the corpse might latch onto the person and try to steal their chi. So that's where the vampire thing comes from. If you catch the eye of one of these hopping corpses, it steals your soul right out of you.
This is very unsettling that there could just be, an undead army in my village just walking by one night.
Well, they have to be led.
Sure. That's even worse.
Right?
What?
Who's doing the gonging? Does it say?
Yeah, I guess
Taoist priests.
Oh, so the priest is like leading them.
Well, it's a number of Taoist priests.
Oh wow!
So here's the
They're
thing,
like, okay, zombies are coming. We gotta let's see if we can kind of funnel them.
Yeah, it's literally like they do in The Walking Dead, except that they also bring them back to life to move them back to their hometowns.
Okay.
Grandfather told of a girl who did not heed this warning and stared too long at a passing corpse. The corpse became enamored of her, tried to make her his ghost bride, dragging himself toward her, reaching for her.
What does that mean? Did he say that, or does that mean that the corpse had a boner, if you will?
It was just a lecherous corpse.
Yikes.
It was all like, listen, I already have a ghost wife.
Make you my ghost bride.
But you could be my ghost bride.
Gonna make you my ghost on the side.
Side corpse.
Side corpse, nice.
Yeah.
Rest in side piece.
The priest had to surround the corpse and say prayers over him for many hours before he would leave the girl and get back in line.
Yeah.
So the story goes anyways. It seems that every village had a similar tale. Eventually, the dead passed through my grandfather's village, with all living souls left safe and sound to live another day. Life in the village returned normal, and nobody spoke much of, and this is their words, the night of the hopping dead.
Of course.
Crazy. So, I mean, crazy. It just happened in a bunch of towns and everybody remembers it. And they were like, yeah, what were they doing?
What was going on? What?
Well, we can jump back to the other article. And this is the Hung Lo, that's the Taoist priests, were supposed to return the family corpses back to the burial plots.
Mm-hmm.
If Mr. Lo was too poor to afford any type of casket, the transportation for the corpse, he could find a local Taoist priest. This is also from the article. Let's call him Father Corky to pay a small amount of money and receive a... They just threw that in there. I don't. Father Corky, yeah.
Father Corky.
And receive a corpse talisman. The talisman, written on a yellow piece of rice paper or silk, was specifically constructed for Uncle Larry's physical body. Empowered with the talisman, all Hung Lo had to do was place it onto poor dead Larry's chest, and a spirit entity would immediately enter into the deceased uncle's corpse. The uncle's corpse would then stand up and begin to follow Hung back to his home county. So this is the whole deal. You die somewhere out of the place where your family wants you to be buried.
Sure.
You get a Taoist sorcerer to entice a spirit into that body, and then hop him over with a gong.
Just hop him over.
So
it's a whole hop and gong.
And this is this is the cheap option.
Yeah. This is cheaper than getting an excavator to dig up the coffin and then moving it in a truck.
This seems genius. You know, somebody dies and you just pop them up and weekend their a weekend with what? Weekend at Bernie's.
It's a full-on weekend at Bernie. Yeah.
Back home, you know.
It's even more of a weekend at Bernie's too.
Yeah, truly. Crazy.
It says, as long as the talisman remained on the corpse, it would not decompose, but simply follow the individual who originally placed the talisman and activated it.
As long as they're playing a gong.
If Hung Lo had to travel for several days, he'd simply remove the talisman from the uncle's corpse at night. They do make a Weekend at Bernie's joke right here.
Okay,
nice,
of course.
Nice.
Because Weekend at Bernie's is translated throughout all regions. Yeah.
Great,
a beautiful
minds.
epic.
It's a global punchline.
Exactly.
The uncle's corpse would immediately collapse and begin to decompose. In the morning, all Mr. Lo needed to do was again place the talisman on the uncle's chest, and the spirit would re-enter into the corpse and again follow him on the journey homeward. The spirit within the corpse was never human to begin with, often a minor demon or elemental, and often stories are told of something going wrong with the spirit gone rogue.
Whoa.
Yeah, see, the cheap option, though, like, you just dig them up yourself, you know? Like, don't let that happen.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like, how much do I save? Maybe like it's worth it.
Here's why it only ended in the early 1900s.
Oh.
During the Opium Wars, drug dealers began smuggling opium inside the bodies of dead individuals that were being influenced by corpse magic.
What?
Yeah, you just walk your opium wherever you need it to. Traditionally, customs agents were unwilling to search the spirit-possessed body of a corpse, making it easy to get the drugs across imperial blockades. Eventually, the Emperor of China issued strict sanctions forbidding the practice of corpse magic in order to stop drug dealers from smuggling opium across county lines inside these moving corpses.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's why you got to stop it.
They just, this is real.
That, they were just taking people back to where
they're claiming
their
it
family
is.
wanted
They're talking about it like it is.
Also, you could easily fake this. It says it's quite easy to pull off the drug smuggling. If you found a
get your buddy
a bit of yellow paper with some writing on it stuck to the chest of a sickly man or woman, and there you have yourself a drug mule.
Also, that actually is totally genius. Oh, I'm a zombie. Yeah, then you don't have to deal with it at all. Instead of being like, oh, I know a guy. He's dead.
Another practice of corpse magic used in ancient China was the magical skill of transferring the soul into the corpse, known as shijie. This Taoist practice focused on placing a sorcerer's soul into a new body in order to allow the sorcerer to continue training in magical alchemy, or just cheating death, basically.
That's what I'm looking to do. Cheat death, strike down my enemies.
And this is sort of an interesting thing. There's 3 ways to do it. One is through a willing donor. In this situation, an older sorcerer transfers his or her soul into the body of a willing donor, which I assume is either a very young idiot that thinks they're going to gain your power, or
young idiot,
or just another very old person who's on the verge of death.
Mm-hmm.
Before the initial transference begins, the older sorcerer first transfers the young donor's soul to the body of a dog or pig. This is accomplished by having the sorcerer go through the donor's physical body and empty out the donor's spirit body, i.e. by separating the spirit/etheric shell from its physical house. This purging process enables the sorcerer to easily transfer the donor's eternal soul into the animal, and once the animal dies, the donor was told he would pass to the celestial realms to experience higher spiritual evolution.
Oh.
I assume by separating the spirit, you mean hang upside down and get shooken over a guinea pig or something?
Yeah.
This is no, you spank the body with a whisk. This is what a racket. Boy, what a racket.
Well, you can also get into a recent death.
What a complicated it feels like one of those stories where it's like, oh yeah, it's so complicated. That's how you know it's true.
I think my favorite one, quote unquote favorite, I guess, is that you can also get into a new body by, it has to be fetal.
Sure.
So you have to implant. Yeah, if you implant it into a woman, using the normal ways, you can actually take over that baby and then be birthed through it.
Oh.
That's what I'm looking to do. Start life again with all this information.
Oh yeah, sure. From Jump Street, yeah.
Like a reincarnation cheat code.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's
like Neil Patrick Harris.
It's sort of a soul abortion that you have to do, though.
Yeah,
I have to kill myself, I assume.
You have to kill your own baby to get inside of it.
No.
And then be born and live through its life.
Ah, man.
This is a rough episode for babies.
Seriously.
Well, the
Not
two
little-
things are very entwined.
Not little Optimus. Not little Optimus Bruce Wayne doll. Yeah, bummer.
Yeah, well, it has to happen, I guess.
It's a circle of life. It's, necromantic circle of life.
Nah, yeah.
It does also say because the wife will become a widower, her future financial stability and that of the infant sorcerer must first be established before the ritual begins.
I like how you need financial security before you can conduct this ritual.
Well, when you become your own baby, you want to know you're being raised well.
I'm my own baby. I'm my own baby.
Yeah, you're like that guy that got $100,000 from his mom and talked about it on Twitter.
Yes. Cool. Well, terrifying, bone-chilling corpse magic from Nate Balding on how to make your own Legion of Bernies.
And there is so much more to it. If you want to get into Taoist alchemy,
Skanky Legion.
I think next
Bernies.
week we have to get into Taoist alchemy, because then we can maybe help little Einstein with his quest for immortality.
I think if anyone can stop little Einstein, it's us, Spike, becoming a competing cabal of super villains.
Do you think we should be the anti-little Einstein?
Yeah, there's 4 of us now. With Byron here, and we can each take a point of the elemental cube.
I call wind.
Do some water.
Fire.
Love.
All right.
No.
Captain Planet rules.
The 5th element is come.
Yeah. Oh, you would say that like a Taoist sorcerer on its 4th.
Also, Roger, who calls wind? Fine.
I like wind.
No problem.
It goes.
Yeah, it sure does.
Wind was a Russian babe.
That's true.
All right.
All
right. You? Did you find some Bloody Mary?
Oh, I found some.
All right, let me go real quick. This is a quick one, and then let's end on some meat.
Okay, because I found some that